Hey guys, welcome back to From the Nest. Candi and Ken here. We are the host of Our Family Nest on YouTube, and we're also the leaders here on the podcast From the Nest. Candi has some interesting topics for the day for us to discuss. I don't know if I'm 100% on board, right?
Right.
I don't know all her little secret questions, but we're going to try to figure it out.
All right, so today I told Ken I would like to talk about the L word, which is love.
Oh, boy. Every guy's favorite thing to talk about, yep. Love, right?
Well, I think what brought me to this topic is this week we watched the Bachelor finale. Ken
I was on my phone listening to the Bachelor while Candi was watching the Bachelor.
And you only watched the first episode of After the Final Rose.
Yes.
And you didn't watch the second night, which was equally embarrassing.
Well, that was the hardest part of the whole thing is just listening to the same thing over and over for pretty much the entire episode, where he wouldn't leave. And she kept crying. So
let's bring you guys up to speed, just in case you don't watch The Bachelor. Arie was The Bachelor. He was on the show before, on The Bachelorette. And Emily, he was the second runner-up, and Emily sent him home with a broken heart. So I think it was 6 years later they brought him back on the show, and being as The Bachelor. And this season, which this has happened a couple other times, but this season he told two different girls, the final two girls, Becca and Lauren, that he was in love with them. Both.
So my question to you is he really the right Bachelor? Because I think I don't watch it, but it's usually on in the background. I'm half paying attention, and I just feel like he's extremely dry.
Yes.
Very little personality.
It wasn't a very entertaining season of The Bachelor, for sure. I kind of half watched each episode, but I think it ended with a bang just because of the fact it was oh no, what's going to happen? He's told two different girls that he's in love with them. Usually you don't do that. It used to be you just, if the girl said I'm falling in love with you or I'm in love with you, they would kind of just nod and smile and act really awkward. And this time he was oh, I'm falling in love with you too. And anyway, so then he picked Becca as his final winner, I guess you could call it. He proposed to her, and then not even a month, I think, after the proposal, he broke up with her because he said he still had feelings for Lauren, the girl he basically sent home, and he just couldn't get over her and felt like he made the wrong choice.
Which I completely get. I mean, you're put into this situation where you're on a television show. There's probably some background. Basically, it's staged a little bit, I would assume, in some cases. But you're put in this high-pressure situation in, 6-8 weeks?
Something like that. Maybe about 2 months,
About 2 months is the duration of the show, and you're asked to fall in love and propose, which I'm not saying that you couldn't fall in love with someone in 2 months. I mean, that's definitely possible. But also, making the wrong decision. But what I'd like to do is go back to the episode, half listening again, and just his approach and how he handled the situation.
Well, I've already listened to a couple other podcasts, people talking about this, and what a lot of people took away from it is he is this type of guy that was almost excited about the fact or felt good about the fact that he wanted to see her cry. And right. Do you feel like that's what he was waiting for?
In a sixth sense kind of way, yeah. It seemed like he was looking for this reaction. Mm-hmm. But again, the whole thing was so uncomfortable. It didn't even seem real from either one of them.
Right.
I know she was crying, and I know he was trying to be sensitive, but gosh, the guy doesn't have a sensitive bone in his body based on the way I reviewed it. I mean, I've been heartbroken, several times, and it just... It didn't appear as though she was crushed. Maybe after the fact, I don't know, but maybe they already did this and then they had to reenact it. That's how it felt.
Well, now she's going to be the next Bachelorette, so she's in her
cool.
glory.
She seems like a good candidate for that show. But back to the whole
Can you be in love with two people at one time?
Yeah,
that was my question. What do you think about that?
I think love's a strong word. Being married for, almost 20 years here on my standpoint, I think love has many different levels. Initially, when you're with someone, I think the definition of love is quite a bit different than what it is 20 years later.
Right, it's infatuation in the beginning.
Well, sure, that's what I mean. It might be superficial love. So my answer to that question, can you be in love with two people? I would say my answer would be no. I think if you're in love with someone, you're in love with someone. Can you be infatuated with other people? Absolutely. I think it's human nature to find other people attractive, personality-wise, liking other people's personalities. But being in love is something completely different. And if you're in love with two people, you're probably not in love with either one of them, in my opinion.
Well, right. You're probably, if you're confused at who to pick at the end, your level of what he's calling love is superficial. It is infatuation. And he should have done the right thing and just said, I'm not going to propose to either one of you.
Right.
Let's just continue dating off the show, or maybe, okay, fine, pick who you think's the better choice and don't propose and just date instead, is what he should have done.
But I'm sure there were some pressures from the show. I mean, obviously their ultimate goal when shooting this type of show is to get that proposal. I mean, that's the ta-da climax.
Yeah, you probably do feel a lot of pressure.
Right. You got to pick someone. But even, I mean, hasn't there been a Bachelor before that didn't propose, that just said I wasn't ready?
Yes.
And what was the overall reaction of
everybody hated him?
Oh, well, there you go. So that might have answered your own question of why they continually propose on the show without being definitive about who they really love.
True.
And the fact is at the time you're in front of the cameras and you have to do this proposal, so you pick one. Maybe not fully understanding what your emotions are at the time, but then once you step away from the show, it's like, whoa, wait a second, did I just make a mistake? Maybe I feel stronger for this other person. I get all those things. I think I think it makes sense, but love is a strong word.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem, is the word love is just tossed around too freely.
Right.
But what are you going to say? Oh, I really like you.
Well, maybe we should coin a new word, right? Other than love.
Now, do you think if someone says, I'm falling in love with you, means the same thing as I'm in love with you?
No, I don't think they're the same at all.
Yeah, I don't
falling
think so
in love
either.
means, again, I think falling in love is infatuation.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to spend more time with you, see where this goes.
Right. I don't know what Webster says about the word infatuation, but, I think there are two completely different feelings. And this is just obviously from experience. I mean, you've been in love. I've been in love.
Have you ever been in love with two people at one time?
Never.
Have you ever dated two people at one time?
Yes.
After you
And it never goes well, by the way, if any of you are.
Was this before you were 20 or after 20?
After 20.
After 20.
After 20. So somewhat of a... What are you trying to find out?
No. I'm just saying relationships before 20 or what I mean?
Sure,
like,
but I mean...
high school doesn't count.
I wasn't in high school, but, dating two people, everybody's tried that, and it never ends well.
Right.
For one person or the other, never ends well, but... love's a strong, like I said, strong word. And like I said, from that show, hopefully they're both happy.
He proposed to
the second girl.
Yeah. So
on the
here
show?
yes, because you didn't watch the second
show, right.
after the rose.
Right.
After he breaks up.
Did he do it in front of the...
Well, 2 months went by because he broke up with Becca in January.
Right.
So now this was live. So
Right.
2 months later,
Sure.
she comes out and they call it the happy couple moment. Arie and Lauren are together. They're going to date after the
And Becca's
show.
here, obviously, right?
Yeah, she's backstage.
So he
gets down on one knee and proposes.
Go figure.
Now, if you were that woman, would that even feel special to you? Like,
No, not at all. It wouldn't feel... Again, but... the show's probably pushing this. They want
Yeah.
they want ratings.
I'm
they
sure.
want people to watch. They want the reaction we're giving them right now. You know, the frustration or what have you. Because guess what? Next season you're going to come back and watch. I mean,
Oh,
it's,
yeah, absolutely.
It's all about the cliffhanger in television. So,
All right, so that's it for The Bachelor. We're definitely going to be tuning into The Bachelorette, or at least I know.
Yeah.
I will.
not this.
I like
guy.
The Bachelorette even better because we get to see 25
and like
guys.
I said, you've been watching the show for how long has this been on the air?
Oh gosh, I think 18
years,
seasons.
and honest and truthfully, I've watched maybe, let's call it half a dozen episodes. Actually watched.
Right.
You know, and it's usually The Bachelorette when the guys are
Yeah.
getting out of the, because the guys make themselves look like complete idiots. So I've watched first episodes, probably a couple of them, and then most of the time it's in the background. I'm either on my phone or doing
Right.
something, so I half listen. And
Same with Andrew. He'll come home from work at 9:30 on Monday nights, and I'll be in the middle of watching it, and he's always shaking his head. Why do you watch this show?
right. So
All right, so moving on from The Bachelor, I'm going to talk about another topic to do with love that I've been, for lack of better words, dying to ask you this question. So
me,
yeah,
because actually let's prelude this because I don't even know what the question is or what it's about. But I was at a wrestling tournament last weekend, and I received a text from Candi that is this the one you were crying about?
Yes,
she
like
said she was bawling her
bawling.
eyes out. So and we never discussed it further than that other than the text. Right?
I'm like, this is going to be a great podcast topic.
No, brother,
So,
let's hear it.
okay, so I watched this movie on Netflix called Irreplaceable You. And it starts out right away, so I'm not going to give a spoiler. This is literally what the movie is about. It's a couple. They've been kind of like friends since elementary school, stayed all together through college, and they're at the point in their lives, I believe they're like in their early to mid-20s, set in their careers, and they're at the age they're ready to get married.
So these guys were high school sweethearts. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they were friends.
Okay,
They hung out, did everything together, grew up together.
Yep.
So they have this really strong bond. And they're at the beginning, the movie starts out, they're basically saying they're actually at their engagement party. So they're engaged, they got their friends all around, and everyone's joking around. And she's like, yeah, I finally got him to ask the question because I think I'm pregnant. And, they hadn't
Is she
gone
engaged or?
Yes, this is their engagement party. So she's like saying that they, finally took the plunge of getting engaged because she thinks she's pregnant. She felt that she was pregnant.
All right, so they got engaged because she was pregnant?
Pretty
then?
much.
Okay.
That's not even the important part,
and
though.
it's to this person that she's been friends with?
Forever.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I should have wrote down their names, but anyways, doesn't matter. So they go to the doctor together thinking that she's pregnant, going to do a blood test, ultrasound, like you would typically do at a first appointment. And instead, they told her that she had multiple masses in her stomach and she has cancer.
Oh, boy.
And it's bad. She's got to go through, chemo and all this.
She's not pregnant, obviously.
No, she's not pregnant.
She's not in good shape.
She has cancer and she's dying, essentially. Wow. They're going to try to fight it, but the odds aren't looking good.
This is a tough topic anyways because, as you and I are getting older, just in the Facebook world, we have several friends that have passed away. I have someone that we bowled with. It's been 14 years. God, yes. Time's flying by.
Yeah.
That's currently in the hospital right now. Got, I think, the flu bug or something. Had a
heart attack.
A double heart attack is what I read some more information last night, and is basically in a coma with no response. So, wow, what a topic.
Well, hold on.
Right now.
So wait till you hear this question because it really hits home. Okay, or not. We can't relate to it, but yet it's a important question to think about. So
are you gonna start crying?
No, I'm not gonna cry. I don't know why. I'm like certain things I don't make eye contact. Yeah. Okay. So basically the rest of the movie's about, I think the guy's name's Sam, now that's ringing a bell. She's going through chemo, she joins a support group, has all these friends, and in the meantime, she's trying to find the perfect woman for Sam.
A replacement.
That's why it's called Irreplaceable You.
Yeah.
So,
doesn't that sound bizarre?
But, she's really got this, like, controlling personality.
Yeah.
And it really was bothering her to think, when I'm not here, I'm not going to be able to help Sam find, like, the right woman. Like, you know what I mean? So, my question is,
though... Shouldn't that be his...
Well, obviously, her heart was in the right place, but no, it makes zero sense whatsoever.
Okay, so go on.
But my question to you is, if I died, would you remarry?
This is the question you're dropping on me? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like, how would you feel about, I mean, like, what do you think?
I don't think I would remarry.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I wouldn't date.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in, there's only one marriage.
Yeah.
Whether, death do us part, even.
Right.
I don't think I would I don't think I would remarry. I mean, for me is one marriage. That's, I don't want to make it sound negative. That's enough. But, there's only, again, back to the love, one love. Does that mean I couldn't fall in love again? I'm sure I could, but I don't think I'd want to get married. But, to find an individual who's looking for a relationship, they're probably going to want to get married. But there's quite a few people that were married once and they continue dating, through their rest of their life. It becomes a life partner then is what happens.
Well, right. So how do you feel about it then? Like, if you knew you were dying, how would you want me to, like, would it bother you to think,
why don't you answer your own question first? I want to hear your response to that question.
Of course, I had time to think about this where you didn't. So my answer is probably going to be a little bit different. I think at this point in my life, at being 45 years old and my kids being where they're at in life, like, it's not like they would, I don't want to say they wouldn't need a father, but it's probably a lot different than if they were, 2, 3, and 4. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, it's just a difference. I wouldn't feel the need to get remarried, that official. But I think probably the same thing with, like, what you said, that, if I don't think I would ever be out looking for someone, like a replacement. That sounds horrible.
No, you'd be looking for a buddy, someone to hang out, because life can be, it can, if you're by yourself, is not necessarily always fun, I think.
But then you think, we do have friends that are single. And I mean, I don't know. I think I could be happy with, like, doing just things with other women, though, too. Like, I don't necessarily think it would be where I have to, like, spend my free time with a man.
Right. No, I understand. But I'd be looking, more for a buddy, someone to hang out with, especially if the kids are all gone.
Yeah.
Someone to hang. I have lots of hobbies. I could keep myself busy. I love alone time, but all the time not having somebody, I think that would get lonely after a while.
Right.
So
you can say that in one breath, but on the other hand of it, would it bother you to think, like, so you're on your deathbed, basically you have something, I hate to say this because it sounds horrible, but say you did have cancer or something, you knew you were, you had to the end of the year, like, would it really eat away at you?
I think that's can be a loaded question from the standpoint. I think at first, God, I would never want to be in that situation. First of all, thinking about it is somewhat, sad and depressing.
It is.
Selfishly, at first, you would say, obviously, no, I don't want you to be with anyone else. But, like I said, there are certain needs that you would have of, having someone around to help you with things and do things with, and so, I don't think I'd be completely against it, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, what can I do anyways? But those are all good, tough questions.
Tough questions.
So what was the resolve on the movie then?
Should I really give away the spoiler of the movie?
Why not?
All right. Well, spoiler alert, guys, if you don't want to hear how the movie ends.
Skip.
Yeah, skip ahead a minute or so. So basically, he finds out that she's on this mission to find him a woman. He didn't know at first,
like catching cheating.
Almost, because she was on dating apps and meeting people in person, trying to more or less interview them to see if they would be the right fit for him.
Well, the thing is, you find it's at least the similar sex, so it's not like she's cheating on him.
No,
right.
But hiding all this from him. She actually sent him to an art opening one night, picked out a new outfit for him, like the stylish skinny jeans and sport coat.
Oh boy.
Spiffed them all up, and then he finally like kind of figured out, like, what are you doing?
Right.
And he's like, this is, of course in the movie he had the perfect response, the perfect words that just make you cry even more.
Right.
But it ended up being, she actually took money that they had saved up to like pay for their wedding and whatever. Obviously that money was going to be used to pay for her medical treatments instead.
Right.
But she went and took that money to buy him a engagement ring to give to this future woman.
What?
I mean, that was kind of weird.
That's a little weird.
But it comes full circle when then at the end of the movie, he gives her the ring. And it was like...
Right.
Let's just enjoy the time that we have left together.
Which makes...
I know you picked this ring out because you love it. It fit her finger perfectly.
Right.
Typical romantic movie.
Yeah, there's been, I think, quite a few movies. Not maybe exactly, similar. My Best Friend's Wedding and the whole death and dying thing. And
this was way more sad than... It didn't have, like... hardly any comedy in it at all. Like,
right. What was there was one movie where basically I think it was a mother dying and they did all these future recordings like on your 18th birthday for the kids. That's all sad, but it's like, it's so cool that actually that much time's put into, as you're walking down the wedding aisle,
That wasn't the stepmother with Julia Roberts, was it?
I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Sad movies.
Yeah.
You cried at one of the cartoons recently. The kids were making fun of you, but
I cry at
she's
dog commercials.
Very, very emotional.
Yeah.
Back to the part of God, what would you do with the remarrying and all that stuff? I just don't think I think there's only one person you can get married to.
Here, this question just popped in my head. So what if you were on the other side of that situation where you met someone that their spouse just died and you knew that, they're this perfect couple and, her husband passes away.
I think that's pretty difficult too, because then it's always in the back of your head that you're being compared to somebody. Which is the same thing if you dated divorce or dating or what have you. I mean, those are all... I hope I never have to deal with any of those situations.
For sure.
Let's just grow old and die together. Maybe I die a few more years before you.
Like your grandparents.
Yep. Well, my father's parents... my dad's mom died, and literally, what was it, a month later, he died. Broken-hearted.
Yeah,
basically. And he was quite a bit older than she was, too, so... Yeah, so remarrying and stuff like that, it would be rather difficult to remarry somebody and relive that moment and share it with someone else other than what we've shared. I mean, even our wedding day. So tell me what you remember about our wedding day. What are your most vivid memories?
One of my biggest memories, and I guess probably just because this is also recorded somewhere, not that I've watched it in a while, but when we were doing our vows, it was so laid back, almost like, hey, we're hanging out, we're getting married.
Really?
Like, it just didn't feel like stressful, super formal. Like, I mean, it was a good thing.
Right.
But I remember there was a part of the vows where the minister was asking a question, like asking me something, and I was supposed to say yes.
Right.
And I said yes, and he wasn't done talking.
Oh.
And I said yes again, and he still wasn't done talking. So then I was like, for the third time, yes. Do you remember that?
No, I do not remember that.
I remember.
Was it recorded?
We were laughing.
Was it recorded? I don't... Gosh, we haven't seen that.
Yeah, remember we had
forever.
Mike, your brother's friend, camcorder it for
us. Oh, yeah. Holy moly.
That?
Gosh, that's...
The wind was kind of blowing.
Yeah, because it was October. We did
October 2nd.
Yeah, October 2nd. we did it outside at a park, and then the reception was indoors afterwards.
Yes.
For me, one of the most memorable parts was literally sitting there, and we were supposed to get married at a certain time, and here... You weren't even there yet.
I was on time.
I'm telling you, I was like stressed. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's not going to show up for today. I swear. And then you got out of your dad's van, I think it was.
Yeah.
And
did you see me?
I seen you get out of the van.
You're not supposed to
I know,
see
but
me.
I did. Because I didn't think, it was like literally 10 minutes till showtime, and you weren't even there yet.
Well, there wasn't really anywhere for me to go. You know, like when you get married in a church, they have like a room where, with mirrors and you can do your makeup. I had to like get ready at home and then show up kind of at the last minute. That was the plan.
That crazy, 20 years ago.
1999,
right?
So
yeah, but I'm just saying,
quite 20 years.
I know, almost 20 years, and it's like your mind just kind of starts forgetting things.
Yeah.
I'm sure if we watch the video, it'd be, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember
doing the train
at the reception. I remember holding you up by the water. We were trying to get pictures and stuff like that afterwards, and yeah, wow. I remember the party part. Yeah. I think I remember every part of the party.
That's what I mean. And even the reception, it was like super,
the reception.
Super
Food was
back.
great. People were great. And we had a great time, obviously. But that's love at its finest, I think, in my opinion. I think love comes in many different forms, in my opinion. From a couple standpoint to the day your children are born and how you're feeling for your children and how you love them and how you love your wife and how you love your parents. I think it takes many different formations of love, but it's that thing that you would give up anything or everything to make sure you maintain that love. In my opinion,
I think the interesting thing for me, like if I think of love when we got married, is such a physical, like my heart feels so full love.
Right.
But then if you think of like love now after being married 18 years, it is like respect. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, respect.
Like it's such a strong, like I admire you, I respect you, like, you know what I mean? It's not the same as, obviously the infatuation part, yeah. You have some days that I'm still infatuated. Others probably not as much. But do you know what I mean?
Well,
it's more like this feeling of so much more laid back, like comfort.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is you get into the whole definition of, marriage and what, just the amount of compromise. Because we both have changed so much over the last, I'll say 19 years, right? Or, we've changed so much that you grow together differently than you were when you were in your 20s, even when you're in your 30s. Think about that. So you get married in your 20s and you're still having fun, and then you're having children, and then in your 30s you're young parents and how you view each other, and then you're in your 40s and where the kids are, and like you said, it's more of a respect, and we've done a great job through compromise and basically becoming this one intertwined bond that I think is pretty much unbreakable from the standpoint unless someone makes a silly decision, right? And that's what happens in I think in marriage when it comes to divorce at this age is you just get bored with the person, you're set in your ways, and it's like, well, I don't need this person anymore. So then you go out looking for almost the same thing as what I've seen for older couples that were married before.
Yeah, that is true.
I won't mention any names or anything, but I've seen some couples that, they were married early on, they got divorced, and they're with new people, but those new people look almost exactly the same as
or they act the same.
But it's like they're searching for maybe that 20s and 30s type of relationship in their 40s. And I think they've just forgotten how to accept that it's changed. It's not the same anymore. It's not the going clubbing or all that stuff. Your bodies have changed. It's not for everybody, but things start falling down, and we had a conversation about that today, right?
Yep.
And eyes and all that good stuff. But that's our chat for today. On
good
love. Good chat on love. Hopefully.
I didn't cry.
I saw her eyes water up a couple different times, but that's our discussion on love, and I think it's a strong and powerful word. You can have love for your religion. That just comes in so many different shapes, forms, and sizes. Hopefully you agree with us, but we would love to see your comments in the video. And can they comment on podcast?
I'm not really sure. To comment, though, to actually get conversation going and get where we reply and that sort of thing, we post all of our podcasts on my personal YouTube channel, which is at youtube.com/Candyland. And
I think on the podcast on iTunes, you're able to rate, which we would love if you'd rate us.
Yeah, rate
it's
and
a
review.
5-star system where you can give us 1 star, 2 star, 3.
Give us 5 stars.
We prefer 5 stars, and I think you can also comment on there.
Oh, okay.
You can leave comments on iTunes.
Okay.
Now, I have not been to the
Stitcher.
Stitcher. What else do we use?
That's it.
Just Stitcher and iTunes. You can download these podcasts. And you can also watch them on your channel, right?
Yep.
So the links are below.
Yes.
So check out the links. Please leave comments. Tell us pros, cons, all that. And we're going to compile questions over time, I think, right?
Yeah.
And we'll try to start answering some questions possibly in our next podcast.
Yeah, you guys can write into us at podcast, PODCAST, at ourfamilynest.com and ask us questions, give us ideas for future topics. And also you can watch us daily on YouTube at youtube.com/ourfamilynest.
Yep. So thanks for listening to us today and enjoying our love story.
Yep.
Don't forget to watch us on YouTube, right?
Yep.
And we appreciate you being here, spending some time with us today.
Yep. Have a great day, guys. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.